Welcome back to the Division 2. In this video we are doing our weekly recap of State of the Game, and if you are interested to know about all of the difficulty changes that are coming, then make sure you stay tuned until the end. So tomorrow there's going to be an unscheduled maintenance. It's going to last around an hour and a half, and is going to be at 9 AM UK time. The clan and friends list is being fixed because there's been a couple of issues around, like loading into friends games and stuff. And there's also been a progression blocker that's been fixed for legendary on the capital building stronghold. Other things that are looking into in terms of bug fixes: there's infinite loading in the DZ, there's matchmaking long queues, gear set talents aren't working properly, there are sound issues again, there are issues reviving group members, bounties with inaccessible areas, the bloodsucker talent doesn't work how it should, and then there are season DZ problems, so a lot of players aren't leveling up in the DZ, and when you are earning caches through the seasons in the DZ, it is coming out as contaminated gear. Then moving on to the main topics, if it says replay on the manhunt for Neptune, when you're looking at the target, it means it's completed. There's literally just a UI bug. So if you know that you've done all of the control points, bounties and missions, you've done Roosevelt Island, you've taken down Neptune, if it says replay, it's completed, don't worry about it. They did mention that playing the manhunt is very good for Seasons XP. So if you've already completed it once, then it might be worth going through it again. Next week's league that's opening up, the first league coming to the game, it has challenges focused on Neptune's manhunt, and it includes a speedrun challenge for heroic difficulty Roosevelt Island. So that one's probably going to take quite a long time to get through. Then they spoke about the Coyote Mask, which is the level 35 reward in Seasons. They will be eventually adding that into the exotic loot pool, and they did say that there could be a boss in the game called Coyote that might drop the mask. So Jefferson Trade Center would be your go-to mission, but that's not available right now from that mission. The only way you can currently get the mask is by reaching level 35 in the season's progression. And then we have the difficulty, and I'm going to be putting it in a nutshell. The Dark Zone time to kill is being investigated, and it's going to be made longer because right now it's a little bit too easy to kill enemies in the Dark Zone. And then for the PvE difficulty settings, hard is roughly where they want that difficulty to be. Challenging is a little bit overtuned because they balanced it based on an almost perfect build, and there should be moderate decreases in difficulty which will affect solo and group players. Co-op scaling can't be as simple as just introducing 4 times the NPCs for a 4-player group, because otherwise that would cause server issues, like you would get lag and stuff. But currently the group scaling is a little overtuned in 3 and 4-player groups with the enemies, so they could be doing fixes to that. They believe they can actually do a good job at fixing it all, because a lot of people are mentioning it's like 1.3 in Division 1. The heroic difficulty might be tuned a little bit, but it should be hard, and they've said they don't want heroic to be a difficulty for everyone to play, so they still want heroic difficulty to be incredibly tough. They did mention that if you can complete heroic in a 1-player, like if you're playing solo and you can do heroic missions, then once the changes take place, the 4-player, 3-player and 2 should be similar in terms of difficulty, so they will be fine-tuning it a little bit more. They're not going to be touching Legendary really because they want it to be the hardest content available for the best teams out there. I believe if they was going to do anything to Legendary difficulty, the only thing I would recommend, or the only thing I believe should be a little bit easier, is the fact that the enemies are so aggressive. If they just toned down their pushing a little bit, I believe it could make Legendary a little bit more fun, because currently I can clear heroics fairly easily. I do go down a few times, and a couple of times here and there, me and my team will wipe, but Legendary, we still got to optimize our builds that quite a bit more. Certain NPCs that are hitting too hard will be tuned, like the minigun Warhound. Apparently that's incredibly stupid, so that's going to be tuned. All of the changes will change how long it takes for us to be killed as well, so the TTK for the NPCs towards us is going to be increased. It's going to take them longer to kill us, which is going to be good for survivability builds. They also mentioned that these changes should make build diversity more viable, so survivability, skill builds, other things besides DPS should be a little bit better when these changes take place. Although because of what the changes involve, It will require a client update as well as a server update, so once it's released we will need to update our games, and they do plan to release it as soon as they possibly can. What they also said is they might make multiple patches and release them periodically just to see how it affects the opinions of the community. So do all of the tune-in and changes they want to do, release it to the public, see what we think about it, and then see if they want to go on and change it again. And they mentioned, because there were questions in the stream chat, that the raid will be balanced completely differently, so this stuff that's currently happening will not affect the raid. They are also, and this is the final point, they are also discussing loot quality, because purple loot shouldn't be dropping off enemies when you're playing challenging and above, so they want to try and take the purples out. But when you're opening gear crates, no matter what difficulty you're playing on, the gear crates and gun crates don't scale with difficulty because there isn't a challenge to open them. Or that's what they said, but I believe personally, challenging and upwards shouldn't involve purples at all. Because even though opening a crate isn't a hard thing, you literally just hold down a button and you interact with it, it can be a challenge to get to those crates. So I believe they should still be rewarding. Maybe not always like high rolls and stuff, maybe some low rolls, but I don't believe purples should exist. But yeah, the main topic was the difficulty changes, like all of the scaling and stuff and the bug fixes they're going to be doing. But that is going to do it for the video. I will be back next week as long as I'm not too busy playing the game, because I've missed the last couple of streams due to me actually grinding on the game and trying to get good gear and thinking of content and making stuff. But that's going to do it for this one. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments as always. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.